The Great Horse Sickness of 1872 was one of the most disruptive animal disease outbreaks in North American history, unfolding with startling speed and revealing the profound dependence of 19th-century society on horse-powered infrastructure. The epidemic is generally identified as equine influenza, a highly contagious viral respiratory disease that first appeared in late September 1872 in Toronto, Canada, before spreading rapidly through rail and trade routes into the United States, reaching major cities such as Detroit, Chicago, New York, Philadelphia, and Boston within weeks. Horses infected by the disease developed sudden high fevers, severe coughing, labored breathing, nasal discharge, and extreme fatigue, often collapsing in their stables or in the streets, unable to pull loads or even stand. Although the mortality rate was relatively low, usually estimated at between 1 and 2%, the scale of infection was unprecedented, with historians estimating that more than 75% of all horses in North America were affected at the peak of the outbreak. Because horses were the backbone of transportation and labor, the epidemic triggered an immediate and cascading crisis. Streetcars stopped running. Freight and food deliveries were delayed or halted. Construction projects ceased. Factories slowed due to shortages of raw materials, and farmers struggled to bring goods to market. In many cities, people were forced to improvise by pulling wagons, omnibuses, and even streetcars themselves, while businesses shortened hours or closed entirely. The postal service slowed dramatically. Coal deliveries for heating became unreliable as winter approached, and urban sanitation suffered when horses could no longer haul waste, increasing fears of secondary health crises among humans. One of the most famous and symbolic consequences occurred in Boston in November 1872, when a massive fire broke out while nearly all the city's fire horses were sick, forcing firefighters to drag heavy equipment by hand through narrow streets. The delayed response contributed to the destruction of large portions of the city's commercial district and highlighted how the epidemic had weakened even essential emergency services. The disease spread in clear waves along railroad lines, offering early evidence of how modern transportation networks could accelerate the transmission of epidemics, even when humans themselves were not the primary hosts. Newspapers across the continent followed the outbreak closely, publishing daily reports on the condition of horses, economic losses, and unusual scenes of human labor replacing animal power, while veterinarians struggled with limited scientific knowledge and few effective treatments beyond rest, warmth, and basic care. The crisis also sparked debates about animal welfare, veterinary medicine, and public responsibility, as overworked horses were sometimes forced back into service too soon, leading to relapses or fatal complications such as pneumonia. Economically, the Great Horse Sickness caused millions of dollars in losses, disproportionately affecting urban centers, small businesses, and working-class populations who relied on affordable transportation and steady employment. On a deeper level, the epidemic exposed the fragility of an industrializing society that still depended almost entirely on biological power rather than machines, prompting renewed interest in mechanization, steam-powered transport, and later innovations that would reduce reliance on horses. While most horses eventually recovered by early 1873 and daily life gradually returned to normal, the memory of the epidemic lingered as a stark lesson in systemic vulnerability, demonstrating how a disease that did not directly affect humans could nonetheless bring an entire continent's economy, mobility, and sense of security to a near standstill.